You ever heard that phrase, everyone knows that, mate? Well, why does everyone know that? Well, it's because this system is controlled by what I call repeaters. They're people in the situations of power and influence who just repeat what someone else tells them.
Holy war to stop the Israeli attacks on Gaza, even taunting President Bush.
Have you heard about this new thing going on in Great Britain that Al-Qaeda routing up all these Britons, essentially, 1,400 strong, apparently, in a new, what's being called a new white Al-Qaeda.
Al-Qaeda has said it seeks a bomb.
Iran is today the world's leading state sponsor of terror. It seeks to intimidate its neighbors with ballistic missiles and bellicose rhetoric.
Basically would prefer to have an American-Iranian showdown, whereas in fact, if there is a change of regime in Iran, there's a greater chance of accommodation.
Do you understand, and I'm not saying this in a condescending way, you're smarter than I am, sure. But do you understand what the New York Times wants and the far left want? They want to break down the white Christian male power structure, of which you're a part, and so am I. And they want to bring in millions of foreign nationals to basically break down the structure that we have.
If you've retired, you don't have anything to worry about. It's the third time I've said that. I'll probably say it 3 more times, see? In my line of work, you got to keep repeating things over and over and over again for the truth to sink in, to kind of catapult the propaganda.
War with Iran may seem unthinkable right now, but over at the Pentagon, there are, in fact, people whose job it is to plan precisely for the unthinkable.
Imagine a Middle East with an Iran with a nuclear weapon threatening free nation.
I'm not going to answer about confirming or denying any plans that we may have.
Armed with knives, armed with chemical, biological, nuclear weapons. Fanatics, terrorists, September 11th. September 11th, killers, September 11th, terrorists. Terrorists of Al-Qaeda, terrorists, nuclear weapons, terrorists. 9/11, terror, terrorists, evil.
September 11th, September 11th. The terrorists, war and danger. September 11th, terrorism, global terrorism, terrorism, terrorists. Terrorists, 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 the terror. Terrorists, terrorist, terrorism. September 11th, global terrorism, terrorists. Terrorism. September 11th, world terrorism, terrorism. September 11th, global terrorism. September the 11th, terror. Weapons of mass destruction. September the 11th, terrorists. The evil terrorists, no.
When hostilities commenced in Europe in 1939, it was realized that the American people had no intention of entering the war. But they believed that this country could be enticed into the war in very much the same way that it was enticed into the last one. They planned, first, to prepare the United States for foreign war under the guise of American defense. Second, to involve us in the war step by step without our realization. Third, to create a series of incidents which would force us into the actual conflict. These plans were, of course, to be covered and assisted by the full power of their propaganda. Our theaters soon became filled with plays portraying the glory of war. Newsreels lost all semblance of objectivity, and they have used the war to justify the restriction of congressional power and the assumption of dictatorial procedures on the part of the President and his appointees. A fear campaign was inaugurated. We cannot allow the natural passions and prejudices of other peoples to lead our country to destruction.